Hollow, they called it Fenrir. No patrol came home. Listen close, the storm remembers what the men won't speak. Storm clouds line the ribs, the compound holds its breath. Government papers folded, promises quiet as death. Nathan Griggs has thunder hidden in his eyes. Half man, half wolf, and the pines begin to cry. Red lights flicker, cold bleeds down my hall. DNA unravels, time slips off the wall. Project Fenrir, buried deep beneath the snow. Something on the ridge is waking slow. Hear the wolf howl when the lights go low. Black Hollow, you don't wanna know. Black Hollow, you don't wanna know. You don't wanna know. Owl splits the night, lightning finds the edge. Footprints stopping, whispers take the ledge. Nathan feels the program running under skin. Order sour, the static, the steel forgets to win. A silhouette with an oath pinned to its chest. One wrong step, and the last alarm arrest. Project Fenrir, buried deep beneath the snow. Something on the ridge is waking slow. Hear the wolf howl, and the lights go low. Black Hollow, you don't wanna know. Black Hollow, you don't wanna know. You don't wanna know.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we take you on a far beyond civilization, beyond the frozen mountains of Alaska, beyond the reach of the law, morality, and humanity itself. So sit back, grab some snacks, get cozy, form Judah Ben Gaming Studios, the prequel of Black Hollow, Project Fenrir, the creation.
Black Hollow, Project Fenrir, prequel to the Ursalupus incident. Rain hammered the roof of Outpost Epsilon like bullets from the sky. The storm had swallowed the Alaskan mountains for 3 straight days, turning the world outside into an endless blur of black pine trees, freezing fog, and lightning splitting apart distant peaks. Sergeant Nathan Griggs sat alone inside the barracks, sharpening a combat knife that no longer needed sharpening. Scrape, scrape, scrape. The metallic sound echoed softly through the dim room, while old fluorescent lights flickered overhead. Outside the reinforced windows, the wilderness stretched endlessly beneath a dead gray sky. Snow drifted sideways in violent wind gusts, while the guard towers beyond the fence line barely remained visible through the storm. Isolation. That was the point. Nobody accidentally found Facility Fenrir. Nathan leaned forward slowly, studying his reflection in the blade. 36 years old, decorated combat veteran, former Army Ranger, 2 tours overseas, and now buried in the middle of nowhere under a government contract nobody fully explained. He glanced toward the old photograph taped inside his locker. A beautiful African-American woman smiled warmly beside a little girl with braided pigtails and bright eyes full of life. His wife, Renee. His daughter, Maya. The words beneath the picture were written in Maya's handwriting. "Come home soon, Daddy." Nathan stared at the photo longer than usual tonight. Something about this place felt wrong. Not dangerous. Wrong. Even the soldiers acted different here. Nobody laughed much anymore. Nobody talked about home. And every hallway smelled faintly of antiseptic, metal, and blood. The steel barracks door suddenly opened. Briefing room. Now. Captain Doyle stood in the doorway, cigarette smoke curling from his mouth. Nathan stood slowly. "Everything all right, sir?" Doyle hesitated slightly too long. "Just move, Sergeant." The door slammed behind him. Nathan grabbed his jacket and followed. The underground corridors of Facility Fenrir felt colder than usual. The deeper they descended, the quieter everything became. Steel walls lined with pipes and reinforced concrete stretched endlessly beneath flickering red emergency lights. Armed security personnel stood at every checkpoint carrying weapons Nathan had never seen before. Heavy weapons, military grade, overkill for a research station. Nathan noticed something else too. Every guard avoided eye contact. The elevator finally stopped nearly a mile underground. The doors opened into the briefing chamber, and the tension inside the room hit like a physical force. 20 soldiers sat around a long steel conference table while armed guards lined the walls like statues. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. Dr. Evelyn Mercer entered carrying a thick black folder stamped with a red wolf insignia. Fenrir. Nathan had seen the symbol everywhere since arriving. On walls, uniforms, documents, even surgical equipment. But nobody ever explained what it meant. Until tonight. Mercer placed the folder carefully on the table. She was calm, too calm, tall, pale, emotionless eyes hidden behind cold intelligence. A scientist who looked more comfortable around corpses than living people. Nathan instantly disliked her. Mercer activated the projector. Images exploded across the wall. Wolves, bears, human skeletal diagrams, genetic sequencing, battlefield casualty reports. Then came the war footage. Bodies torn apart. Entire villages burning overseas. Screaming civilians running through smoke-filled streets. The room somehow felt colder. Modern warfare is evolving, Mercer said calmly. Governments require soldiers capable of surviving conditions ordinary humans cannot. The slides changed rapidly. Enhanced muscle tissue, bone density increases, cellular regeneration, adrenal manipulation, predatory behavior adaptation. Nathan frowned. This wasn't military research. This was something else. Then the next image appeared. A massive creature standing inside a containment cell. Blurry, towering, not entirely human. The room fell silent. The creature had glowing amber eyes, massive claws, a body packed with unnatural muscle. Its silhouette resembled a wolf standing upright, but far larger, far broader. Mercer folded her hands behind her back. Project Fenrir is humanity's next evolutionary step. Nobody spoke. Nathan stared harder at the image. Something about the creature disturbed him on a primal level. Its posture, its eyes. The thing looked aware. "What the hell is that?" someone whispered. Mercer smiled faintly. "A prototype." The room erupted. "You're insane! That thing isn't human! What the hell are we doing here?" Nathan remained silent, but every instinct in his body screamed at him to leave. Now. Yet the armed guards near the exits made one thing perfectly clear. No one was leaving. Mercer waited patiently for the room to settle. Then she opened the black folder. Inside were contracts, medical waivers, confidentiality agreements thicker than phone books. "Volunteers are required for Phase 1 trials," Mercer said. Nobody reached for the paperwork. Nathan noticed Captain Doyle standing silently near the back wall, avoiding everyone's eyes. Ashamed. One soldier finally stood up, Corporal Jenkins. "What happens if we refuse?" The room became deathly quiet. Mercer looked directly at him, then smiled. "Refusal is certainly your choice." The guards raised their rifles. Not dramatically, not threateningly, professionally, like men who already knew what would happen next. Jenkins slowly sat back down. Nobody spoke again. Black Hollow, Project Fenrir, the creation. The experiments began the following week. Officially, volunteers were selected. Reality was simpler. Refusal meant disappearance. Nathan remembered the first injection vividly. Cold liquid sliding into his veins. Pain immediately afterward. Violent pain. Not ordinary pain. It felt like his bloodstream had been replaced with molten metal. Nathan collapsed onto the laboratory floor screaming while restraints locked around his wrists and ankles automatically. His muscles cramped uncontrollably. Blood vessels darkened beneath his skin like black spider webs. His heartbeat accelerated so violently, doctors feared cardiac rupture. Machines screamed warning signals. One scientist panicked. "He's crashing! Pressure spiking! Sedate him!" Nathan barely heard them. His entire body felt like it was being ripped apart from the inside. Then came the sounds. Bones cracking, muscles expanding, teeth grinding painfully against one another. Nathan roared in agony as blood poured from his nose. Nearby soldiers undergoing the same procedure weren't surviving. One man convulsed violently before going still forever. Another began bleeding from his eyes. A third tore apart his own restraints before security shot him dead. The laboratory became chaos, but Nathan survived, somehow. Over the next month, 12 soldiers underwent Phase 1 trials. By the end of the month, only 5 remained alive. Nathan changed faster than the others. Stronger, faster. His senses sharpened unnaturally. He could hear conversations through concrete walls, smell blood from across rooms, see movement in near total darkness. Doctors called him exceptional. Mercer called him promising. But Nathan felt himself slipping. Aggression consumed him daily now. Nightmares plagued every moment he slept. Violent blackouts left hours missing from his memory. One night, Nathan woke beside a destroyed sink with blood across the floor. His knuckles were skinned raw, and he couldn't remember what happened. The next morning, one of the soldiers failed to report for duty. Nobody asked questions. Nobody wanted answers anymore. Then came Phase 2, and everything changed forever. The lower levels of Facility Fenrir were never listed on any official blueprint. Sub-Level 9 existed beneath nearly a mile of reinforced concrete and steel. Only select personnel possessed clearance to enter. Nathan discovered that by accident, or maybe not by accident. The elevator doors opened slowly with a hydraulic groan. Cold vapor drifted across the floor. Nathan stepped out cautiously. Rows of containment chambers stretched endlessly through the darkness. Huge reinforced cells, titanium walls, massive blast doors, and behind them things moved. Some chambers remained dark, others glowed faintly red. Nathan heard breathing, deep, heavy, animalistic. A distorted voice echoed through the hallway. Subject Fenrir 11 responding aggressively. Another voice replied nervously. Sedation levels aren't working anymore. Nathan slowly approached one of the viewing windows. Inside the containment chamber stood a creature unlike anything human, 9 feet tall, covered in dark fur. Its spine bent unnaturally, while massive claws scraped against the steel floor. The thing slowly turned toward the glass. Amber eyes locked onto Nathan, aware, hungry. Nathan stepped backward instinctively. The creature smiled. Not an animal smile, a human one. Then it slammed itself against the glass hard enough to crack it. Warning alarms erupted immediately. Security teams rushed into the corridor. Get him out of here! Nathan barely reacted before armed guards grabbed him. As they dragged him away, he saw Dr. Mercer watching from an observation platform above. Calm, interested, studying him, like she had expected him to find the lower levels. Later that night, Mercer visited Nathan's quarters personally. Nathan stood immediately. You've been keeping monsters down there. Mercer tilted her head slightly. Define monster. Nathan stepped closer. Those things used to be soldiers. Mercer didn't deny it. They volunteered for progress. No, Nathan growled. You turned them into animals. Mercer's eyes narrowed slightly. Animals survive, Sergeant. Nathan clenched his fists. What happens when your experiments stop obeying orders? Mercer smiled faintly. That's why we're studying you. Nathan froze. Mercer walked slowly around the room. You retain emotional awareness longer than the others. You're more resilient, more adaptive. She stopped directly in front of him, and far more dangerous. Nathan suddenly realized something horrifying. Whatever was happening inside him was only beginning.
Yeah, Black Hollow Project Fenrir. Ain't no soldiers left alive now. Wind shakes the wire, storms talk in code. Storm clouds roll when the beast is outside. Government lies stacked where the bodies hide. Nathan Griggs with the hollows in his eyes. Half man, half wolf, let the whole woods cry. Lab lights flash red code in the night. DNA snap, now the shadow owns the fight. Project Fenrir buried deep in the snow. Hear the wolf howl when the blackouts go low. Black Hollow, you don't wanna know. Pray to God you survive that night. Footprints like knives cut the frozen road. Radio static telling secrets it won't hold. Rifle drops, someone whispers about home. Lightning shows teeth where the shadows home. The mount keeps score of each whispered sin. One heartbeat left and the hunt starts again. He remembers a face before the howl. A memory flickers through fury and scowl. Storm rips the sky, the past fights him still. If mercy existed, it's quiet and chill. Project Fenrir monster born in the night. Fire in his eyes, and he ready fight. Coming through the dark when the lightning strikes. Black Hollow, pray you live past that night. Wind swallows footsteps, the mountain keeps its cold. Black Hollow breeze until the story told.